Yo, 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 yo. Just making sure y'all hear me loud and clear. If y'all hear me loud and clear, say yeah. What up? It's your boy Royce the Voice, Orange Click, Orange Leader. Shout out to K-Team. Speak your thoughts or lose your mind. And yes, man, you know what I'm saying? We in a new place with the new face, you know what I'm saying? Sorta kinda, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jay's brother with the beard, because the beard is popping. You dig what I'm saying? It's doing all types of stuff right now. As you see, and I'm feeling good, feeling great. How are you? It is March the 1st. It is Monday. It is 2021, and it has been cold. It was so cold last week. Let me tell you something. Let me see what my producer's saying to me right quick. Okay, yes, and we are live on IG. Shout out to the people on IG real quick. Hold on, man. Let me, you know what I'm saying? Let me just take a look and see what's going down on the IGs. You know what I'm saying? Yes. How's everybody doing today? You know what I mean? How are y'all doing? I just gotta check and see. You know what I'm saying? Like you just gotta look and just see. Like, oh my gosh, like did we finally make it to IG? I think we did. Oh, ho, snap! We made it to IG. What's up, IG? What's up, MJ Official, Jazzy, Jazz, and others have joined. What's up, man? I know you haven't seen me in a minute. You feel what I'm saying, especially on the IG. But definitely a shout out. You know what I'm saying to my people on the Facebook. You dig what I'm saying? Yes, yes. What's up, Lena? Hey, shout out to Cynthia Davis. Shout out to Cynthia Davis, man. She just gave us 100 stars, man. And she's always representing, always supporting. You dig what I'm saying? And look, we're trying something a little different. Now, I know I always say that I'm not going to be that long. And I promise you, I'm not going to be that long. But see, that only depends on the women that interact with me, on the women that would like to get online with me. You know what I'm saying? And speak a little something. What's up to Bishop Jimmy L. Tyson, my brother. Man, we'll be working with him soon, man. We cannot wait, you know what I'm saying, to get you here on this network, man, because, you know, we've been looking for another element to add to the network. And, man, you always just bring a light every time that you're online, every time that we see you, man. And so glad to see you. And we wish nothing but the best for what you got going. What's up, Cameron Howard? You know what I'm saying? I know you finally caught me tonight. You know what I'm saying, Lena? And I won't be that long. I promise I won't be that long because, you know, this month, this is y'all's month. You know, and honestly, I didn't know this until the other day. I did not know that it was National Women's Day month. National Women's Month. Let me correct myself before y'all get all up on me. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my IG people. Shout out to millennials. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Lena again. You know what I'm saying? I think she sent some stars. I think that's just what happened. Let me just double check and just make sure that's what it was. You know what I mean? Because sometimes like I can get lost in the sauce. You feel me? And I think yes, she did. Lena sent 50 stars, and we appreciate that. How you doing, Miss Braston? Hey. Best to you all too, Bishop. You already know what's good, man. Man, it's a great day, man. It's a great day. Not only because it's not cold anymore, you feel what I'm saying? But just because I just feel like there has been a shift. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know. Lisa Winnie about this. I want her to come on, but see, it's not what y'all think. It's not what y'all think. You know what I'm saying? And I know Lisa's watching, you know what I'm saying? She's probably watching on the IG, which I'm gonna be switching back and forth on that because because I know that she's watching on there too. So anyway, we're on IG now. So anybody that's on the IG world, why don't y'all please share? Let them know the Royce the Voice is on IG live now. Now, this is what I want everybody to do. What's up, Ashley Hart? What's up, Ashley? How you living? How you living? Y'all watch it for her, man. She got some stuff coming up pretty soon, you know what I'm saying? Part of the anatomy team. But this is what I want everybody to do, okay? So we're trying something a little different. So if you notice on my personal page, I'm not going live there. If you notice on Herschel's page or Nino's page, I'm not going live there. I'm going live directly from my Royce's Rant page. And this is why. Because I want everybody to migrate there so we can see everybody's comments, right? Now, we could already see everybody's comments when we went live on our personal pages, but there was just so much hoopla going around, you know what I'm saying? Trying to make sure everybody was on, on their public pages and stuff like that. And the public settings was on. And it just seems like, wait a minute. Yes, big things are happening, man. I sure hope so, man. Look, we'll see what was happening was this is a network. This is Royce's Rants Network. This ain't just me. This is Josh Lovett, our producer. This is Herschel Williams, aka Dr. Anatomy. This is Nino Black and Black Thoughts. So, what better way for everybody to migrate to Royce's Rant? Everybody can support Royce's Rant and everything that we're doing, so we can do things in our community and stuff like that, and continue to bring the show at the highest quality possible. As you guys already saw, we had the hit list that popped off for the second time in 2 months or whatever. We've been upgrading, trying to find ways to reach out to people. And as everybody knows, music is my first love. If you don't know, now you know. You know what I'm saying? I would have to say, acting and film would be my second love. You feel what I'm saying? And then this is just something I like to do. I like to talk anyway. You feel me? So what better way to conglomerate it, put it all onto a network so y'all can see everything that Royce's Rant has to offer. You feel what I'm saying? So if y'all can do me a favor, just share it. You don't have to start a watch party. Just click that share button on Royce's Rant and just drop it on your page. So therefore, anybody that clicks on that Royce's Rant page inside of there and starts commenting, we'll be able to see everybody's comments like we see them right now. So without further ado, you know what I'm saying? Let's kind of get into this topic a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into this topic because I don't want to waste anybody's time. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to get up under anybody's skin because this is not what this show is about. Because I know Cynthia was like, "Oh, I'm about to get in that ass." You know what I'm saying? And Lise Winnie, I know she wanted to, to do that too. Pause. You feel me? Shout out to Amber. You know what I'm saying? The Amber just dropped some stars. Let me find out the Amber just dropped some stars, man. I'm about to go crazy if I find out Amber done dropped some stars. Did Amber drop some star? I don't know. I think she did because it's got that thing on there. I don't know. I think she did. So I think she did. Well, shout out to Amber for dropping off the stars, man. I appreciate y'all supporting the show. You feel what I'm saying? We got a lot of things coming up. We got some apparel coming up. We got special guests and stuff coming up. We've got short films and movies coming up. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to my producer, director, Josh Lovett, man. We're finishing up the series, The Hit List, the film, and The Helmet. You feel what I'm saying? And we're working on some other projects, man. I want y'all to see all that we're capable of here at the Royce's Rant Network brand. You feel me? So without further ado, all right. So the title of this show is it really that hard being a woman? Yes, 100 stars to Amber. Shout out to Amber. You feel what I'm saying? Amber, thank y'all for supporting. Really do it. Now, I hope that y'all continue to support after we talk about this. But I promise you, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not what you think. Maybe I titled it wrong, but I don't know. This is, anytime I title something like this, it usually comes from a conversation that I had prior. You know what I'm saying? With other, young gentlemen that I speak with. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to bring this to the table because, we've had some, let me just tell you about some debates with me. Because somebody asked me, well, what is it that we want to hear from men if this is about women? Okay, so this is how I'm going to answer this. I talk amongst my brethren and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Some of my college buddies, high school cats and stuff like that. Yes, Women History Month all day. You know what I'm saying? And thank y'all for supporting with that. You feel me? And we're going to talk about y'all. You feel me? So I was talking amongst my brethren and they were saying, they were like, man, women have it so easy. They have it so easy. You feel what I mean? And, we had a little drink in our system, you know what I'm saying? And just talking our ish. And, in my mind, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, the first thing I'm thinking is, yeah, you're right. You're right. Women do have it easy. You know what I'm saying? Because what men go through, you feel me? Like, man, we go through stresses and we go through trials and tribulations. And, you know what I'm saying? We got to deal with the workforce. We got to deal with all these bills. We got to deal with keeping up with the woman that we're with. You know what I'm saying? We got to be this to her. We got to be that to her. We got to be everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to make sure that we in shape. We got to make sure, you know what I'm saying? Everything is good. We got trapezius muscles. I don't even know if that's a word that I just said. But, Callie Mae, what it do? She's up on Twitter. You feel what I'm saying? And anybody right now, you know what I'm saying? Because I know y'all don't want me to talk all mother freaking day. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to Callie Mae with Cali Cakes. You know what I'm saying? Y'all make sure y'all check her out on IG as Cali Cakes. That's with a K, Kali, Kakes, Cali Cakes. Y'all look at that. You know what I'm saying? And Cynthia said, because only a drunk man would ever say women have it easy. Yes! Let's get it cracking. So let me tell you some of the things that we were talking about. You know what I mean? See, what happened was we got to talking, and they were like, man, women have it easy. Women have it easy. And some of the explanations were, they were speaking on. Now, this is what was coming from. First, we're gonna talk about like the social media world. You know what I'm saying? BJ says, as soon as I seen this title, I thought of the Blues Brothers movie when they were singing "Stand by Your Man." You already know what's up. You already know what's up, man. You already know what's up, man. All right, shout out to BJ Anderson, man. You know what I'm saying? Thank you guys for sharing. If you continue to share. Amber says, but they redeem their sins and overcome faster and further than women. And that's what makes women into Wonder Women. Okay. So let me get to this. Let me get this. So this is what we say. We're going to start from the social media world, right? And then we'll get into outside of the world. Because most of these guys were talking about like social media. And to me, this doesn't mean much to me because it's just, we're dealing with likes. We're dealing with all this stuff like that. But men be like, man, you know, I try so hard, you know what I'm saying, to push my product. You feel what I'm saying? You know, I got a business, you know what I'm saying? I got the shoe business. I got the shirt business. You feel me? And man, it's so hard to, you know, to sell my stuff, you know, but as soon as you put a woman on there that wears my t-shirt, you know what I'm saying? And make it seem like that it's hers or that she's running the operation. And if she look like something, then it's going to sell. Like, why can't I just sell it as the ugly man that I am? You know what I'm saying? And I guess that's what I had posting up right there when I said, you know, man, it's hard for us men out here. We can't put on lashes and makeup or anything or wigs and, you know what I'm saying, floss it out. You feel me? It was all fun and games, all in a joke. But I really started to think a little bit, you know what I'm saying, especially on the social media stats, right? The OnlyFans and stuff like that. Social media. I did notice when I was just doing some research. This is just through the numbers, right? In social media, when it comes to business, when it comes to sports announcing, when it comes to spreading the news, so to speak, or how they have stuff on YouTube when they do the recap and stuff like that. They usually have women on there. They usually have attractive women on there. You know what I'm saying? And it usually catches the attention of the men. You know, let's look at ESPN. Can y'all see the difference in the ESPN in the 90s and the ESPN in 2015, 2020? You know what I'm saying? Like, them women on there are pretty bad, and the ratings have went up. You know what I'm saying? Because a lady was on there and she boosted the ratings. And that's props to that. I am not hating on that at all. But in a social media stance, you know what I'm saying? Do you agree or disagree that it's easier for a woman to sell a product or sell herself? I don't mean that in a sexual way, but just selling her brand. You feel me? Better than what a man can do. Is that true or not? Let's see. Ashley says that's because men created the attraction to sex. So women can just post pics and men come running for it. Hey, you know, that's the game, right? That's the game. Lena said women who work hard for their children's homes and own businesses and are dedicated to their families and support the man of the house and making sure they feel supported. Then things are equal. My husband does try to find the vacuum. I see you. Cynthia Davis says, but the men still get paid more. Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. Okay, Cynthia, you brought up a good thing. She said, but the men still get paid more. All right. It's hard for me to agree or disagree with that because I guess I would have to see like certain kind of stats on that. You know what I'm saying? Because I got to see stats on that. But I'm hearing what you're saying. But let me say this. All right. Let me ask you a question. And this is just one particular topic because we can go on a bunch of other topics, which I would like for you guys to jump in here. You know what I'm saying? After our first commercial break or whatnot, I would love to see people tap in and join the show because I really, really want to hear from y'all. So check this out. On OnlyFans, right? Let's just say this. Let's just say, let me ask y'all a question. Do you feel that a woman would make more money on an OnlyFans than a man would? I'll wait. Do you feel that a woman would make more money on her OnlyFans than a man would? I say yes. You know what I'm saying? Actually, I know you can give I know you can give some examples. You feel what I'm saying? But if a strong muscular man decided to get on OnlyFans and just started whipping it out and doing his thing, do you think he would get that much of attention as a woman to do that? Because as far as I'm hearing, what y'all talk about men, we gonna spend that money on y'all, right? You know, the moment y'all post up a picture where you dress nice or something is kind of sticking out, so to speak, you know, a woman can post up a picture on their bed and say that they're tired and they look like that they're up wide awake, but the way that they're sitting and the way they position themselves gets a different type of attention. Okay, and Ashley says yes because of men. I'm gonna come to that for a minute. There are a few industries where women make more than a man. BJ Anderson says equal pay is March 31st. The latest stat says that women make on average point 80 make 81 cents compared to a dollar for a male. We got to change it. And I agree. I'm not even dissing any of that. You know what I'm saying? Again, he said yes, women make more on OnlyFans because women don't pay for dick. Actually, again, it's because of men that we make more money doing stuff like that. Women don't go around asking for D pics; they just go ahead and send it. I feel you. Okay, so let me ask this question because I noticed somebody had told me a couple of days ago. Do you think that the reason why women press so hard for validation, is it because of men? Have men set a certain type of standard on what a woman should be, on what a woman should look like, on how she's supposed to carry herself? You know, is it us? Is it our fault? Here's the question. Is it our fault as men that women seek validation when it comes to social media? That's right. That's right, brothers. We got to take back control over the D. We out here just giving it away, and that's what I'm talking about right there. But you know what? I'm not gonna. You know what? It's not our month right now. You know what I'm saying? This is Women's Month, and I want to cater to them. But I feel you, BJ Anderson. We have to treat our D like it is golden too. You know what I'm saying? We got to. But that's on a whole different show. You know what I'm saying? And as you know, I don't want to throw any of you guys off. This is a social political rant. You feel what I'm saying? I can rant about politics or I rant about social stuff. You know what I'm saying? I try not to get too nasty like Dr. Anatomy. That's his level. You know what I mean? But Ashley says, speaking for myself, I don't go around searching for validation. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Bobby, what's up? Bobby230 on Twitter says Christian men have, which is a disgrace. Have they? Christian men have what? You explain that to me. Cynthia says, yes, men set the standard. Yes, it is men's fault. Period. Whoa! What happens is only what we allow. We can't blame y'all for that. Okay, so we got a shout out to Shirley Trammell, you know what I'm saying, for the stars and stuff like that. Shout out to you. So, okay, so Lena and Cynthia, we have an opposite statement here. So Cynthia says, yes, men set the standard. Yes, it is men's fault. Period. But then Lena says, what happens is only what we allow. We can't blame y'all for that. Okay. Bobby says, set the standard. So Christian men have set the standard, which is a disgrace. Okay. So I would have to say this, Cynthia and Lena, I agree with both of you guys. All right. And this is why I agree with both of you guys. Um, Sheesh. I mean, with history, you know what I'm saying? Men, this is definitely before like the women's suffrage and stuff like that, before women could vote. You know, men pretty much ruled the world. Men had to say so. Men told the women what to do and how to do it. You know, they kept the women in the house. Some women were abused and women were raped. They didn't have any rights. You know, they couldn't yell for help. There wasn't no Me Too back then. You know what I'm saying? It was terrible. It was terrible. So when women got their rights in 1920, if I am correct, please correct me. Please correct me. In 1920, I believe, was the women's suffrage movement. Um, that stigma with the men setting the standard for women still didn't go away. You feel me? Because there were songs about it. You feel me? We've, especially with the rap songs, I recall my boy Two Chain says, you know what I'm saying? If she ain't giving dome, then she basic. And if y'all don't know what dome is, I don't want to be too vulgar. Y'all know what dome is. You feel me? If she doesn't give oral sex, she's basic. That's what one of the rappers, Two Chain, has said. And some of that stuff can ring inside a female's head. Yeah, like that. Some of that can ring inside of a female's head and be like, man, is it true? Like, if I don't give oral sex, am I basic? If I don't twerk, am I basic? You feel what I'm saying? But then at the same time, I have to agree with Lena too, because you have to be able to validate yourself. Women, you have to be able to love yourself and stop looking for validation from men. Cynthia says women typically change to men the desires of men. So why is that? Why is it that women as independent now, and there's a word that comes that y'all say a lot, is independent. I can do bad about myself. I don't need a man for this. I don't need a man for that. But yet at the same time, you're seeking validation for a man. Speaking on Cynthia's side, he said women typically change the desires of men. BJ says, to touch on what Bobby said about Christian men, if you're living a biblical marriage, that whole book kind of gives women a bad spot all the way from the start to Eve. Ooh, we gonna get biblical in here. So let's talk about that real quick. Shirley, for instance, if you give the cookie from the jump, don't be shocked when they only come around for just that. Bars. Walter, what's up, Hanky? He said black women didn't get rights in the 20s. Keep it correct. No, you right. You always corrected me. You know what I'm saying? But y'all know what I mean. Y'all know what I mean. But if we're just speaking like in general, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Walter. You know what I'm saying? That's my mentor, man. He always got to get me right. Chinta said we're still fighting more. Speak, BJ. So look at this. Okay, BJ said to touch on what Bobby said about Christian men. If you're living a biblical marriage, that whole book kind of gives women a bad spot all the way from the start to Eve. Okay, so if I am correct, if we're going back to biblical times, if we're going back to Genesis, right, and we see that the man was tempted by the woman. Am I right? I don't want to get into specifics on, oh, was it a fruit? Was it all this and done and not, tree of life. In other words, let's just say it like this. God said, don't do something, and it was done. Right? Now, in the Bible, it says that Adam was influenced by Eve. Eve kind of made that influence. You know what I'm saying? Which kind of makes me think, man, to a man, is a woman our Achilles heel? Because what I'm trying to tap into is saying that I feel like if a woman knows her power, she can manipulate anything. She can even manipulate a woman. Definitely can manipulate a man. Eve manipulated Adam into partaking into the tree of life, the tree of knowledge of everything. Now, tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. Send me some scriptures or something like that. But a woman manipulated a man. He said, but who influenced Eve? Men tell her what to do at every turn. I need some scriptures on that. All I'm saying is that what God told us not to do, it was done. Now, not to blame on who did it first or anything like that, but Eve brought that to the man, and the man, I mean, plain and simple, the man was like, okay, I guess so. It couldn't hurt nothing. You feel what I mean? Now, let's fast forward this up a little bit. All right, when we're looking into this world that we're living in now, you dig what I'm saying? We are dealing with a conflict right here, and I'm glad that Cynthia brought this up, and I'm glad that Lena brought this up. You know what I'm saying? Bobby said, right or wrong, it's still a disgrace. I feel you on that. And for Women's Month, this is what I would like, to do, and I would like to talk about. I see on some pages and stuff like that where women are like, "Hey, let's come together. Let's uplift each other. Let's encourage one another." You dig? Um, One of my questions is, why should it be just for 1 month? About the same way that I felt about Black History Month, on it just being a month. Why can't we celebrate it every day or learn something every day, every other day, every week? About Black history. When it comes to Women's Month, I think that should be something practiced every day with women, because if you so say, like Cynthia says, I'm gonna put these two together, Cynthia and Lena. When Cynthia says that women typically change to men, the desires of men, right? And then Lena says, we that women allow men to do that. You should be able to validate yourself. What better way during this month? And she said, "But who are you fighting, sis?" Oh, I see some conversation in the back going on. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I love it. But my question is this. Let me make sure that my producer is not texting me. Okay. Why can't this be a practice every day for women? Why can't this be a practice every day for women? I see all the time, and I was told by a very special person that says that women knock each other down more than men do. I've also heard that women, she said, this one girl said, she said, "Wait a minute, do you think that we dressing up looking good for y'all on a date? Y'all think that we looking good for you men on here? No, no. We in competition with other women. We're trying to outdress this other woman. We're trying to look better than this other woman that's going to be at the club, the other women that may be at the restaurant. It's not about you. You think I did this for you? No, I did this for me. I did, because I'm hearing that women are always in competition with each other. Now, does that reflect back to men and how we validate you guys? You know what I'm saying? Does the man need to change his outlook on what a woman is supposed to be? Or is that like an individual thing? Because I know some men that just like, they like poly, they like monogamous, they like, spreading their wildfire everywhere. You know what I'm saying? They want a type of woman for themselves. But in general, is it something that a man needs to do to change that stigma of how men are an influence to the way women present themselves? You feel what I'm saying? Cynthia says, okay, yeah, okay. There's a competition with other women for what reason? To the truth. Okay. And this is when I would like y'all to come in. You know what I'm saying? This would be great. Shout out to Walter. Shout out to Jamie Moorhead. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out. If y'all don't mind, man, please continue to share. You know what I'm saying? Doing something different. Just sharing it from everybody's pages. And so we can, oh, I won't let you. Okay, Herschel. All right. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But anyway, is it something that a man needs to do? Right? All my women out there. Is it something a man needs to change in the way he sees the way a woman is supposed to be and carry herself? I made this statement yesterday, and I had somebody get on my page. I think they said that I was being transphobic, and let me say this, to answer this quick question or whatever. Transphobic. Okay. Phobia is a fear, if I'm correct. And if we're speaking on trans, I'm pretty sure you're talking about transgender, transsexual. I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm not afraid of anybody that's gay, bisexual, trisexual, whatever it is that you guys call it. I'm not afraid of any of that. So let's kind of get that in motion. You feel what I'm saying? Shirley says, I don't think that's correct for all women. I'm in competition with no one, to be honest. I have been on a journey of self love for several years, and I finally feel that years after healing. Well, definitely claps to you, Shirley. But let me ask you a question. If you were in a relationship, right? You were in a relationship and you saw that your man was kind of giving a little attention to other women on Facebook, liking, loving their pictures, or you might catch him with a 360 neck every now and then, checking out other women. Would that bother you? Because if it didn't bother you, that means, hey, I'm comfortable with myself. I validate myself. I know who I am. He can look at any woman he want. He with me. Or would you feel some type of way that he's looking at another woman? You dig what I'm saying? Let's think about that for a minute. I'm not trying to dog anybody. I'm not trying to get on. I'm just trying to make women think for a minute. You know what I'm saying? On who we're placing this blame on. You dig what I'm saying? So going back to the question that the statement that I said there's a difference between a male and a man, a woman and a female. Okay. And this is what I mean by this. um, Walter says that self love is the beginning of the life journey, sis. After getting that self love, you naturally got you. So yeah, I'm gonna let the comments roll so I won't forget my point. The difference between a male and a man, very simple. First, a male has a penis. Simple as that. If you were born a male, you have a penis. Is that correct? All right, we can get into those semantics if you want, because somebody was trying to confuse me and said, well, this could be that, this could be that. I don't know. Look, let's just speak common here. If you are a male, you have a penis. But see, everybody has the potential. Every male has a potential to be a man based on the upbringing or how they decide to self-love, on how they decide to carry on through life responsibly and respectably, handling your business, being a good person, and paying your dues, all in a nutshell. I'm not trying to say everybody can't be a man. Every male has a potential to be a man. It's up to you. It's also how you're raised at the same time. But as you get older, you have to start to accept some responsibilities that you may have been disregarding. I've been talking to myself too about that. Like, can I fully call myself a 100% man, knowing that I have some things that I need to fix, some flaws? You know what I'm saying? I don't mean physical flaws. I meant flaws mentally to make me a 100% man. A female and a woman. If you're a female, if you're a born female, you have a vajayjay, right? And like Nikki said, you either have ovaries or you got testicles. You hear what I'm saying? Either you have a prostate or you don't. Jamie says you can have self love all day long, but it isn't wrong as a woman to want to be validated. Speak life to me. Gas me up. Hey, I hear you. We are all human and looking. It's just that most of the time, as long as he's not touching and he's still being respectful, I mean, I'm not a jealous person. Okay. Okay. I feel you. I'm gonna let you have that, Shirley. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to Herschel Williams up in this bug. You know what I'm saying? Herschel, you already know what's up, man. Feel free to click in, you know what I'm saying, after this commercial break. Because I really want the women to click in. I want to talk to you guys. All right. So the difference between a female and a woman, a female has a vajayjay. Every female has a vajayjay. Am I right? Before I go on, because I just want to make sure I'm on the right path. You feel what I'm saying? Every female has a vajayjay. Shout out to Nicole. Shout out to Smoke 713. Holly Time in this building. You know what I'm saying? Now, to be a woman, it's the same thing as being a man. That's something that you have to earn. Every female has the potential of being a woman based on how you're raised, or as you get older, taking responsibility and holding yourself accountable for being that full being that you're meant to be. You feel me? I can say that everybody's not a man and everybody's not a woman, but we're all male and we're all female, and some of us were born with both. Just can't leave that out there. You know what I'm saying? Anyone that claims they don't look is dangerous. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, being a woman is something you have to earn, right? And getting back to the topic, oh yeah, we all look. I already know. Also, as Jamie says, I want the right man gassing me up, not these everyday good morning men. Though all that hello queen, them hello queens. Is that what that is? The hello queens. Yeah, everybody can't be a queen. You can't be a queen until you have a king. And honestly, you know what I'm saying? You can't be a queen until you have a king. If we want to be real about it, you know what I'm saying? But we'll get into that. We'll get into that. All right. We're focusing on the ladies right now because I want to help. I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but I want to figure out some things, right? Because I'm hearing that men are at fault for making women stress about how they are or how they look or how they carry themselves. You feel what I'm saying? And my question was, do you blame men for the way do you blame men for the standards that we set on validating women, how they should look, how they should talk, how they should act? Should they be provocative? Should they be classy? You feel what I'm saying? At what point, ladies and gentlemen, do we take accountability for ourselves and how we feel about ourselves? All right. You feel me? Like Cat Williams said, self-esteem, right? Tell me if I'm wrong. Self-esteem. How can I? Okay. You know what? We're going to pause that right there. Remember, I said self-esteem, okay? We're going to go to a quick commercial break, all right? A quick commercial break. And during that commercial break, I would love for you guys to share. I appreciate the opportunity you guys are giving us to talk to you guys. And when we come back, we'll dip into more of the stuff that I've been writing down. And I would love, oh, good. So we got Cynthia in the box. We're going to have her come in after these messages, all right?
Just love just James butter. It's really good on your hair.
My favorite has got to be the peppermint mist leave-in conditioner. It's so soothing to your scalp. I've had dry, itchy scalp, and I tell you, it's amazing.
My favorite product with Jace Butter is the natural flaxseed elixir, especially on the hair that's not mine.
Y'all know what? I really love Jace butter. I love Jace butter.
What up, everybody? It's your boy Royce the Voice, Orange Click, Orange Leader. Shout out to K-Team. Speak your thoughts or lose your mind. And I'm here to tell you about my guy, Kevin Lambert, aka the cell phone guy, now has a new website. It's at www.tncellphoneguy.com. Yes, look at those pictures right there. He will turn your phone from hell to heaven. Do you hear me? From hell to heaven. So y'all make sure y'all go check out Kevin Lambert, aka the cell phone guy, at www.tncellphoneguy.com.
G Street Quick Draw Gun Magnet. Unlike the competitor who imitated and sell similar products with more expensive prices, G Street Gun Magnet Mount is specially designed and engineered to provide you the safest and most convenient experience.
Do you want to access your guns quickly in case of emergency? Do you feel safe in your car and at home? Do you want to be able to hold your guns for any different situation? After our research, we have redefined our gun magnet mount for the market to solve any complaints from gun fans. We have designed and redesigned our magnet mount, which is made from premium, eco-friendly material, excellent craft, unique appearance with quick draw and quick load functions, and hold flat surface firearms safely and secure.
Order your G Street Quick Draw Gun Magnet today with free delivery at gstreetedc.square.site.
Look, I suggest that you fall in line and show me my respect. I'm the best. None of y'all a threat. This is not a test. I'm upset. Come around here, I'll make you stand on all your threats.
Yo, what up? It's your boy Royce the Voice, Orange Click, Orange Leader. Shout out to K-Team. Speak your thoughts or lose your mind. And yes, shout out to Jay's brother, the TN cell phone guy. Shout out to G Street. That's Nino Black and the G Street accessories. You know what I'm saying? And I got to holler at Kevin, man. You know what I'm saying? So I can get this computer fixed. You know what I mean? Got to have a Nino Black so I won't get caught slipping. You know, I got to give a shout out, you know what I'm saying, to Jay's brother, man. Just making this beard, man. I'm starting to look like Mufasa up in here pretty soon. You know what I'm saying? But look. Before I bring her in, let me see. VJ said, tell the kids to go in the other room because Cynthia Davis is about to bring some truth. Oh, I can already see the top teeth shining right now. Look at her. She's cracking the lips. I see it. She's ready. Oh, no. Lena says maybe, but only you decide what's acceptable for your partner and vice versa. Neither are perfect. It's seeing that we're human, and if you're not fulfilled, disrespected, or treated unequally, and you play along, that's the woman's choice, not the man's fault. Okay. So, everybody, I need you guys to continue to share. Please share, please share, please share, please share on all your respective pages. Just trying something a little different here, trying to get everybody to feed towards the Royce's Rant page. And while you're doing that, my producer, man, we're going to go ahead and bring Miss Cynthia up in here. Oh, look how she came. Oh, no. Oh, no. Why did we have to come on like this? Woo, hold on. Hold on. All right. First, how are you doing, Cynthia?
I am well, Royce, and how are you?
Good. I'm glad we can start off like this. This is wonderful. Are you relaxed? Are you good?
I
You know what I'm
am.
saying?
I'm chill. I'm
I
good.
see you. You're glowing today. You know what I'm saying? I see the hair slipped back. I see you over there. I
Oh
see
yeah,
you.
I got my James Butter. Got this soft going on today. Got the,
Oh, snap. Shout out to Jay's Butter, man, getting that gloss on. You feel me? Oh, okay. So I guess y'all. Okay, hey, get them. Okay, so they say get them, so you got them. I'm gonna let you have the floor. Holla at me, man. What's something you want to speak on?
so I'm gonna roll back to Dr. Anatomy show a couple of weeks ago, where
Okay.
Dr. Anatomy said something to the effect of, ladies, you chilling at home on the weekend with your man
Mm.
in your lounge clothes and your sweats and your oversized t-shirt. But then he go to work every Monday and it's a lady in the office who is, face beat to the gods and she in there in her stilettos and all that.
Yeah.
Would I say it's men's fault? It's situations like that. It's thinking like that. How you expect for me to be chilling at the house on the weekend in stilettos? Like who does? No one does that. So if you are comparing your woman chilling at the house on the weekend to your coworker who you spend 5 days a week with, possibly more depending on what y'all got going on, a man left the house and started comparing his coworker to his woman based off of weekend wear. When men go out there with being community property.
Ooh.
I'll try to keep it PG-13. You out there being community property, knowing you got a woman at the house.
Okay.
And you don't have, it's not a, baby, it's because you didn't do this, or it's, baby, you wasn't doing this, you wasn't fulfilling me in this way. You just out there random. I don't know why. It just happened. Those are the types of things that make a woman say, well, because 9 times out of 10, whenever a man cheats, a woman was like, well, what did I do wrong? What the hell did I not do? Okay. Why would he go out?
Okay.
At least every woman has said that at least once.
Okay.
If you said it once and then you ain't never said it again.
Okay.
But every woman has said that at least once. What made him do that? So then you start thinking, okay, maybe they were in better shape than me. Maybe their skin was better than mine. Maybe their hair was better than mine. Maybe this. So it does create that air of competition or comparison. It may not even be competition, but when I walk into a room and I see other ladies, I will always notice that I'm the big girl in the room. I will always notice that somebody in there in some high heel shoes that I could never get my foot in. You just notice things about ladies and you do an automatic comparison. Now, I'm not saying just because I'm the only big girl in the room and I can't get in them high heels, that don't mean I ain't fly. Don't get it twisted. I'm still fly.
Okay.
I'm just not doing what she do. And I think that's where women need to get comfortable within themselves of you can notice and acknowledge the difference between women, but don't never discount yourself because you're not doing what she's doing. It ain't for you to do. Can't nobody do you like you do you. Don't try to do her. She got that covered.
So,
But-
I mean, no, my bad. Go ahead.
But one of the things changed the game. You remember back in the 80s where all the women wanted to be real skinny. It was in to be real skinny because men like skinny women. That was it. Everybody liked skinny women. Soon as it became a fad to be thick, oh no, everybody got to go get thick. Everybody in the gym, everybody trying to get a donk, and that's the new fad. Everybody got to have a black girl booty.
Okay, so I got to stop you right there. No. I'm stopping right there. Now, who said that everybody had to get thick? Everybody had the booty? Who said that? You said men?
Who set the standard? Who set the desire? Men did.
Okay, so my question is, now, I'm going back on what you said probably about a minute ago when you're saying how you feel about you. And that's what I feel self-esteem is. Like Cat Williams says, how can somebody make you feel a certain way about yourself? If it's self-esteem, it should be how you feel about you. You feel what I'm saying? I think we are our hardest critics. You feel what I'm saying? Okay, explain that to me.
I'm not saying that it's a self-esteem issue. You can't affect my self-esteem, but that's not to say I don't notice that men gravitate to a certain type of woman. So then, if I say, okay, let's go back. You know how we always talk about cuffing season?
All right.
Everybody talk about cuffing season. Sure. And in the wintertime, it's cool to get a big girl because we provide that heat.
Okay.
In the summertime, it's cool to have a big girl because we get that shade. Whatever it's ridiculousness.
I know what you're saying.
Okay. Those, I know that's supposed to be like a jokey joke, but those sayings and those behaviors stem from that mentality of men setting the standard of what beauty is. Most fashion magazines, most fashion lines, most designer labels are mostly owned or financed by men. So they are the ones that put the looks out there.
Okay.
Of this is what's fashionable, this is what's attractive. If you're setting the standard of this is what's attractive, and a lot of people want to be attractive and emulate what is attractive, regardless of how, the fact that I love myself, I always want someone else to know that I'm attractive or see me as attractive. So yes, I may go get that maxi dress because that's what's fashionable and that's what's attractive.
So let me say, being that was said, how do we break that? What is it that you could tell to your women? What is it that you can tell to women as far as what you just said? You said that men set the standard. So if men set the standard, first of all, are we making women adhere to our standards?
Yes and no.
Explain.
So the answer to your original question, what would I tell women?
Yeah.
Royce, I love you, but what I'm about to say.
Holla at me. This is y'all month. It's me.
This may be slightly offensive to men, and don't get it twisted. I love men. I love all men in all shapes, forms, and sizes. Yeah. But what I would say to a woman is, how you gonna let somebody as crazy and stupid as a man dictate to you what you should be? That's how you start that conversation. The second part to that is ownership. When we own magazines, when we own fashion lines, and when we own the stage to put out what we as women know to be beautiful, know to be comfortable, and accentuate the beauty that is simply being a woman, then that conversation will change. As long as the entertainment industry can put out a music video where it's cute to twerk, then it's gonna always be twerking. As soon as back in the 90s, you couldn't be in a music video. You couldn't be the female in the music video unless you was light skin, long hair. You had one or two music videos with a dark skin female lead.
Gotcha.
It until you change those stereotypes by being present, by being exactly who you are and being comfortable with that. I don't date certain type of men because I'm gonna be honest, I don't date men, I don't date gym rats. I don't, because I'm not going to the gym.
All right.
So
All right.
I'm not gonna ask you to change for me. Like that's the thing. Like women would not ask that man to change for me. Baby, can you stop going to the gym? You're doing a little too much. You're a little too buff. But a man would see me, who may see me and be like, oh, she's cute to be a big girl. If I take her to the gym, then she'll be right on point. I'm not going to the gym. It's not gonna happen. So don't ask me that. Don't try to change me to be that. But a lot of women will say, okay, well, yeah, I can do that for him. He's just thinking about my health. Maybe. Or he may be thinking about how he can change you. And I feel like people go into that situation. Like if you go into a situation thinking about how you can change somebody, ultimately you're thinking of how you can control somebody.
Okay, that's pretty deep here. I'm about to rebuttal that though. Hold on. Jamie says, I seen a bigger girl in the gym with her man this morning, and he was super fit, and he looked like he was there to support her. Petty, Cynthia, petty.
I said what I said. I don't date gym rats.
But here's the thing. Like, I can agree to disagree on what somebody's intentions may be when it comes to the appearance of somebody, or maybe how they see. Like, some people could be genuinely for their health. Health is wealth. You know what I mean? I think it's still a state of mind, whether, if somebody decides to go to the gym or not. I mean, that's really up to them.
Is that the case? Okay, so if that's the case, then those super buff guys would approach their regular female friends, their overweight mama, their overweight sisters, try to get them to the gym. It's usually the focus of the woman that they're with. Because my uncles, my cousins, all of them have always said a man always wants a woman that's on his arm that his boys are going to say, she hot, she dope. It's not just us that seek validation. Men seek validation from other men on the woman that they have.
So hold on. Let me ask this. So I got to split this up in two now, because I was going to ask one question and ask another though. Why do you feel that men? What makes you think that it's controlling for their woman to be healthy?
I'm not saying that it's controlling for their woman to be healthy. I'm saying it's controlling for you to go into a relationship with the mindset or intention to change something about that person.
Okay, something, like we're talking in general, right? Okay, right. So you wouldn't have a problem with, let's just say, man, you know what I mean? You get with a guy, you feel what I mean, and he's like, listen. Especially in the Black community, you know what I mean? We're very unhealthy in the Black community. You dig what I'm saying? And if this man was genuinely concerned about your health, you dig what I'm saying? And he wanted you, or he wanted his woman, you know what I'm saying? To, hey, maybe you should think about trying a different diet. It's not even about the exercise right now. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, maybe you should just try like a healthier diet, something that's going to help the cholesterol, the blood pressure, the sugar levels, and stuff like that.
Approach me with that before you approach me in a relationship.
And why is that? This is interesting.
Because it comes from a genuine place of concern if you're willing to do it without getting something out of it.
Okay.
If we're in a relationship, there's a give and take, and there's probably some sex involved. So of course, it's going to influence how we treat each other, how we interact, all of that. But if we just friends, you my homie. If I come down and tell a homie, you be like, look, we're gonna go get these salads because your thighs is rubbing together. So you can say something to me like that, because I already know the concern is not from a place of sexual interest or trying to manipulate me or change me for your benefit. It's for my benefit.
Oh, wait. So, okay, being that you made that prime example to say, like, I'm not trying to get in your draws. I'm not thinking, not throwing any sexual innuendos. You said that was coming from a genuine place because I'm your friend. But let me ask you a question. In a relationship, aren't you friends? Aren't should that be your best friend? Shouldn't that friendship had already been established for him to feel comfortable to say, "Hey, babe, I'm really concerned about your health."
Supposed to be?
And supposed to be. Okay.
Come on now, we already know half these relationships end because there is no friendship. It's just a situationship that went too long, and now y'all.
And now we found a solution then in this case. When it comes to relationships, that you definitely need to start off as friends. That basic friendship, that baseline, that foundation, to where you can talk to your girl like that's your homie. You feel what I'm saying? And then as it escalates, as that escalates into something further, you should feel comfortable with your man, with your friend that is now your man, to tell you, "Hey, babe, I'm concerned about your health. Let's do something about this. I'll walk this journey with you." I've seen couples, of course, on social media where both of the man and the woman were both overweight and they were concerned about each other's health and they worked out together. I believe those things are genuine. You know what I'm saying? Even for a man that's probably already fit and the woman may not be as fit, or vice versa. You dig? Because I feel kind of like what Walter said, like men, and women too. Let's just keep it real. If we can keep it real, men and women both want something on the side of them that kind of makes them proud, that they're taking care of themselves. They care about their health. They care about their wealth, their well-being. So the health part, if you so happen to lose weight being healthy, which you will, I don't see anything wrong with people in relationships pushing for something like that.
I'm not saying you missing the first part. Okay. Go into it with the intention. I'm not saying, start as friends, end up in a relationship, and that motivation is there the entire time. I'm not saying, I'm not saying that all situations are not genuine concern. I'm saying if you going into it with the intention of changing someone, that's like me telling somebody, that's like me dating a guy who's a mechanic, who doesn't necessarily see the need for college education, and he's doing well for himself. But I keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing. I'm going to get him to go to college. I'm going to get him to go to college. I'm going to get him to go to college. Trying to change him into something that, number one, he's not comfortable with, and that's not his desire to be. That's my desire for him. No matter how great I may think that's going to make him, that's something that he may have to get to on his own. I can't go into a situation saying, I know this is who he is, but I'm going to change him. I'm going to change his mindset. I'm going to change how he behaves. I'm going to change. And a lot of times we as women do that. We be like that scene out of Two Can Play That Game. Saw that man, that mechanic with jerry curl and the messed up teeth, and now you done upgraded him on out your house.
Go ahead, Bobby.
Because you was changing.
Yeah.
But I told Walter, and Walter said he gonna give me broccoli and take me to the gym. Again, from a homie, and that's what's so funny.
Yeah,
I got homeboys who played football at TSU. I got homeboys that work out all the time. Not a nary one of them ever be like, "Come on, Sam, let's go to the gym." That's
Why
my
not?
thing. Huh?
Why not? You don't know? You think they're afraid? I mean, do you think they're afraid to say that?
Trust me, nah, they ain't afraid to call me a fat ass.
Okay. So what makes you, I want your opinion, like what makes you think that they're hesitant on saying something like that?
Because I'm not their concern. We're friends, but what I like, we are friends, and they may be concerned with the fact that whether I'm dead or alive, but they're not going to take an active interest or an active role in getting me to do something that I'm hesitant to do. That's a battle that they may not have the time or energy or resources to put into that.
Interesting. Let me read in some of these comments real quick before I dive into a couple of these these bullet points, and you tell me, and since you're on here, I want you to tell me yay or nay to some of these bullet points. You know what I'm saying? But let's see. Starting to Walter, BJ, I don't think men are superficial. They just want what they want. Shirley, Walter was asking, did they want to date you though?
Who? My homeboy?
Those yeah. No?
Nah, bro. Now,
They
if
want-
I call somebody my homeboy, they is my homeboy.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing like that.
So let's look on it from, and I don't want to steer this away from the matter at hand with women, but when you say that, you know, women seek that validation from men based on the standards that we place, do you feel that men deal with those same type of standards from women?
Nah, because
Mm.
you will rarely see an unattractive woman out and about in public on a date with a guy, but you will often see an unattractive man out and about on a date with a woman. I used to date a dude whose nickname was Shrek.
Oh no! Oh,
What?
him.
Yeah,
you told
him.
me about that. Okay,
I'm
talk
proud
about
of him. He's a great guy, engineering degree.
Word
Great
up.
guy.
But
I mean, he looked like Shrek.
okay. All right. Okay. So no, I'm gonna let you finish.
So it's not. I mean, it is less likely that a unattractive guy. I mean, it's less likely that an attractive woman is going to be turned down by almost any man. But if it's an unattractive woman, she gonna get turned down by some men, or it'll be a situation where she's the secret, she the jump off. What somebody call it? One of them comedians call him a night fighter. Somebody you only deal with, under the dark of night.
Yeah.
So he said, "BS." What? What's it?
No, I think he's talking about the people that didn't want to date you, the friends. But BJ said, let's be real. If someone sees me, they ain't striking up a conversation about gym rat stuff. They coming to ask me what is good on the menu. Know who you are talking with. But see, okay, but you made up. Okay, here's a point here. Let me ask you this real quick. All right, so I've seen men, you know what I'm saying, go after women on a scale of 1 to 10, right? And from men that were on a scale from 10 to 1, right? And I mean this by saying, going back to what I'm saying, how hard is it really being a woman when it comes to these social matters right here, is that a man could have, he could be a millionaire. He could be a 6-figure guy. He can make $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year, right? But he can see a chick at Wendy's that he may think is cute or is attractive. He don't really care about where she worked. He don't care about how she dressed, or if her hair is tied up or not, or in a bun, or if it's dry, or if it's pressed, or anything like that. He gonna scoop her right on up. Now, on the other flip side, you can see a woman that's with 6 figures or makes $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year. And that man could be working at Wendy's with his hair all out of place, really not looking about much nothing. And that woman is like, I don't want no man like that. He work at Wendy's. Look at him. He don't even get his hair done and da-na-na-na-na-na. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that some type of standard? Like, come on now. How many women out there want a man to work at Wendy's? And he's going to be there for life. Like, that's where he want to be. That's what he want to be. He wants to be a cashier at Wendy's. And that's just it. He's going to be the best Wendy's cashier there is. You don't look too much about nothing. That's just about where he's going to be. How quick are women running to his run into his home base than the opposite way? Why is it that men seem to gravitate towards women that doesn't really even have that much going for them, as long as they're attracted to them? What do you call that?
So your point, like, you're looking at it from a standpoint of he can upgrade her. A man can upgrade a woman, and a woman will go along with it, but it's rare that a woman will upgrade a man. In that situation, most women who are in that tax bracket are very cautious of who they bring into their circle, because at some point it becomes a being used situation. If he is working at Wendy's and he's making he's making less than $30,000 a year. Let's just be honest about it.
Okay.
So the question becomes, okay, if I'm with you, where we living? Who driving who? What's the contribution? Because at some point, I'm gonna want to go on vacation. Am I got to pay for you so you can go too? Like I said earlier, I ain't paying for the D. I don't pay for it. But it goes back to those original social norms of typically when men date a woman, marry a woman, he's in the role of protector, provider, all that good stuff, all them P's that the men's supposed to be. And so it's not necessarily an expectation that she be on his same financial level. He doesn't need her to, to pay for the household and to buy him a car or anything like that. He's the protector. He's the provider. Very rarely will a woman knowingly and willingly go into a situation where she's got to be the provider and the protector and the all.
And see, okay, what I'm trying to say is, as far as, you were talking about, men set a certain type of standard that influence women to influence some women to be who they are right now, or who they think they need to be to attract a man, right?
I'm gonna give you an example.
Okay.
Do you believe that women would put themselves through dangerous operations such as breast implants, butt lifts, butt injections, Botox, and things of that nature if they weren't trying to attract some type of attention, typically the attention of a man?
Typically the type of attention to that man in that particular genre, because to me, personally, I don't like inflated asses. I don't like inflated breasts and all that stuff.
But you like big now. If you don't,
I like natural. I like natural.
Exactly.
I like natural.
You
booties.
like a natural big booty.
But I know when it's natural though. I know when it's fake. And see, those type of women that do that are in the entertainment industry, so they're really attracting entertainment men.
And the regular, they also attracted the regular dudes on IGs and buying OnlyFans. And buying OnlyFans subscriptions.
Okay, hold up. We gonna split the bill real quick. We got my guy. Hold on, who we got up in here? Make sure. We got Hinky up in the building, man. The producer just said we're gonna bring Hinky up in here real quick. You know what I'm saying? To let him spit some of his knowledge that he has. My brother.
How you doing, sis?
What's going on, my man?
Man,
you know what?
Wow. Yo,
man,
wow, man.
You already know, man. You know I gotta set it up like that, man. So look, man. I'm gonna let you speak your mind real quick. What is something that you would like to speak to Miss Cynthia about, or just to the masses out here?
I was trying to, because I was trying to figure out how I could mirror this on my TV, so I've missed a little bit.
It's all good.
Where were you guys at? Tell me where you were.
He asked me if a guy could see a female at working in Wendy's and she got dried out weave, bad skin, and look bad. He can still take her and be with her, but a woman won't. A woman especially a woman who makes six figures or makes a nice little salary, would not take that guy from Wendy's and date him and be with him. Okay.
Now, a six-figure man, because there's not many of us. There's not many brothers that make six figures, and those guys are hard-working men.
Yeah,
they've studied, they've trained, they've spent many years sinking all their resources into being able to maintain that 6 figures. So a 6-figure dude is not going to Wendy's and picking up a chick with a dried out weave, and that's not going to happen, because that guy is looking for a particular type of woman, a woman that can kind of work with what he's doing, and that's going to, you know, some of the things that he's looking for in a woman is not what he's going to find there.
He's looking for an asset, his complement.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it and that's even defined further by, you know, people who live on that level, because you're talking about less than 10% of the population that make 6 figures or more. So it's not a lot of those guys. Most people don't run into and have casual conversations with 6-figure earners. You know, those people really don't drive. They don't go to McDonald's. They don't buy food to drive through McDonald's. And likewise for a sister that's at that level, she's not. Her mentality is completely different. They don't eat at fast food restaurants. They don't go to Walmart. You know, so you're not gonna. Most chances you're not gonna run into those people. But my thing is the whole conversation about how a woman looks and how she's built and those things. I think guys, the whole idea of a fad with, you know, the super thick and the, you know, like cartoonish figured women, that was a fad for a certain genre or area of people. That's not unilateral across the board, because everybody doesn't find that attractive. And, you know, we're talking about the Black community. Everybody in the Black community don't find, you know, big asses and big boobs and tiny waist attractive. Correct. You know, and even the women that go through with the surgeries and this and that, people have the right to do what they want to do. I mean, that's part of our guarantee on this earth, is that we have the right to do what we want to do. But there's repercussions. There's repercussions to all of that, you know, because you got to maintain that, and you got to continue to upgrade and uplift those things, because as you get older, that stuff is not going to look the way it looked when you was 20.
True.
You ever
Everything's sad.
You ever seen a 60-year-old woman with breast implants? Or Brazilian butt lift?
On TV, yeah, just a breast though.
And you don't want to.
Sad.
No, I don't. You don't want to.
Let me tell you, you don't want to.
Yeah,
so really, you know, I think if people start looking on their level, some people have no reason to go out looking for somebody just that's not on their level.
Yeah.
You know, we should find people. Most of us are average people, man. I mean, most of us make average rate, we earn average. We live in average houses. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just what most of us deal with. So I think a lot of times, maybe on both ends of the spectrum, most of the people we run into are average. And I think we're looking for way too much. You know, we've been over sensationalized with hip hop music, with movies and rap, with videos and TV shows and reality TV, that we don't know what reality is anymore. Now, we were talking about shapes, and we were talking about how, you know, that there's always been trends of what we found attractive in women. Gotcha. It's, you know, Mae West was a voluptuous woman. You know, she was big hips, big thighs, big boobs. You know, that was for a time. I mean, just 20, 30, I'm not even, maybe 20, 25 years ago, Anna Nicole Smith was a voluptuous, you know, blonde-haired, blue-eyed bombshell. Yeah. And that was kind of a thing. So I mean, that comes and goes. But I think more people nowadays, we see more people that are really concerned about health. I mean, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and 500,000 people are dead, and it's because of pre-existing conditions that COVID has furthered into, you know, bad health. So it's more Black vegans now than there ever were. It's more Black people that are really health conscious. So when it comes to how we're shaped and how we look, none of that stuff matters if your ass is laying in a casket somewhere.
And I just had some cauliflower chicken, man, a few days ago. I didn't know I was eating cauliflower chicken. I had no, it looked like chicken. I was like, man, what is this?
I love
cauliflower.
You know, I love the fact that women are in all shapes and sizes and all colors and hues and stuff. You know, Black women are y'all are the cream of the crop, no doubt. But we need to trend more towards being healthy. The idea that
I don't disagree with anything that you guys are saying about being healthy, or anything like that. And don't get it twisted. I may not work out, but my diet is way better than my body shows.
Well,
Let's just put
I'll
it
say
like
this. I'll say this. I love how outspoken you are. I do, and I love to go back and forth with you. But we have to start making it different in how we talk and how we're perceived because see, we got kids watching us. We got children that's not in our household and not in our family that's paying attention to this stream right here. So they have to see us being concerned about those things. Now, if you go back and open up your mom and your grandmom's photo albums, people don't even know what a photo album is anymore. Look at how we looked in the 80s, the early mid 80s and in the 70s.
That's
Even
true.
until we were all very slim,
Yeah.
we were all very trim. Nobody had big gigantic butts and big, we didn't have all of that stuff. We were in a better place in our relationships as well. And so we have to consider when you look at 51% of all men are single with no children. Those men are looking for something. So it's better for all of us if we start paying attention to what the men want and what the women want. Women want security. They want to be able to trust you. They want to know that you adore them. I say it all the time that my wife is my altar. You know what I'm saying? She's my altar. She's the closest thing to God on this planet. But there's some things that she has to do so that I can continue to put her in that placement. And I think if the closer we get back to thinking like that and get away from how multimedia, TV, and the movies and all of this BS has taken our view off of the greatness that we already are, we need to get back closer to that. Now, don't let me preach, because I'll preach.
And I was just gonna add a little tidbit, man. Like, look, I last summer I was on an extreme workout plan. I mean, I was even doing no nut November. I was not doing nothing, sex, none of that stuff. And I was working my ass off, man. I had gained about 10 pounds, went from like 185 to 195. But see, even though it looked like I was packing on some type of muscle and I still had high blood pressure. You know what I'm saying? My sugar was high, you know what I mean? And I began to think, I'm like, man, wait a minute now. Like, okay, I mean, like you said, looks can deteriorate, you know what I'm saying? But as far as on the inside, like I wasn't really concentrating more on the inside. I wasn't eating right. Even though the optical illusion of me being cut and swole and stuff like that, it looked good. But deep down inside, my heart was fluttering. You know what I'm saying?
Now, for real, when you were saying you were slim, but you had high blood pressure, this is true. I know a couple of people specifically that were really small, where they were at a healthy weight for your height, and had clogged arteries. Now, that's true, but let's be honest. If the majority of us are obese, I'm overweight right now. I'm not where I need to be health wise. So that's complicating things. If you were slim and you had clogged arteries or high cholesterol, think about some of the people who are much heavier and whatnot. That's how imperative it is for us to be serious and be for real about this conversation about health.
And that's true. And that's true. Because here's the point I was trying to make, though.
And women die more often from heart disease caused by bad health than men.
That's why.
And that's the point I was trying to make. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah, no,
you good. You good. This is the only point I was trying to make.
That's
the only part I was trying to make is we keep jumping. Go ahead. You go. You go.
Well, I'll say real quick. That's why it's important that we take this stuff seriously, because we need our Black women. We need our Black women because we can't, as a people, survive without them. We can't reproduce without them. There's certain aspects of our development as human beings that only sisters can handle, and only women, period, not just Black women, but only women, period, can handle. But there's certain aspects of it that only men can do and handle. We need each other, and we need each other healthy. We need each other cooperative. We need each other in a loving way. So
I hear that. And the only point I was trying to make is that it really does start with your diet. It starts with your diet. Like I said, I wasn't eating the proper way. You know what I'm saying? Like I was still feeling the way I was feeling on the inside, even though it looked like this on the outside. So even though you also say that, there are people that are bigger than me, that had those cholesterol, high blood pressure problems. I was saying like, hey, look, at the end of the day, no matter how much you seeing of what's looking like outside of here, I got that same high blood pressure. It's just we weren't starting off with that diet first. You know what I'm saying? And then working out. Go ahead.
Because I want to go back to something that Hinky said.
Okay.
You said that 51% of men are single with no children.
Yeah.
Going back to the original topic, is it really hard being a woman?
Mm-hmm.
I want to touch on that a little bit.
Sure.
You guys have the luxury of sitting back chilling because y'all can have kids well into what, your 70s?
Something like that.
I'm not really sure because I wouldn't entertain a 70-year-old.
Robinson had a kid and he was in his 80s. So
yeah.
We can
lots the exception to my rule. But as a woman, there are certain biological restrictions that we have that lead us to make different decisions. For instance, if I'm in my mid-30s and I'm successful in my career, I haven't met that guy, but I want to start a family. I've got to make a pimp decision of, okay, do I, settle for somebody who may not be necessarily on my level, just so I can have the child that I want, or do I, go ahead and Jackson sperm somewhere, start my family solo dolo, and all the hardships that come along with that. Because being a single parent, whether you're a single mom or a single dad, it ain't an easy task. But if having a child is a desire of your heart, that is a decision that you have to make. As a woman, like if I had waited until I met the right guy to have my kids, I still wouldn't have no kids. And I'm 40, and I was told I was having a geriatric pregnancy at 36.
Right. 35 is geriatric.
So so my thing is this. There's a lot of restrictions on women biologically. There are a lot of restrictions on women financially. So when you say, is it really hard being a woman? Absolutely. And what's so crazy about it is we like Hinky said, we should hold the keys to the kingdom, because without the feminine energy that we provide, typically a man doesn't have anything to feed off of. His masculine energy has to have some of female energy to complement.
Oh, hold on. There's a cooperation between man and woman, for sure. We can't reproduce without women, right?
This is true.
But in the traditional roles of men and women, your man should be your protector. Your man should be the stabilizer in that relationship. I think one of the things that we've kind of messed up on that we had decades ago, you go back to the late 60s. Black people were married at 80%.
Yep.
With households. There's something that happened between 1968 and where we are now that destroyed that thing. Now, I'll say this. You were talking about the geriatric pregnancies and whatnot. We know that women mature faster than men. Young girls mature quicker than men. And the reason that you're, wanting to have a child in your mid-30s is not it goes kind of against what the doctors want, is because that those childbearing years really, I mean, after, we say when your menses comes on, that's the nature letting you know you're ready to have children. But we know the little girls ain't having kids at 12 and 13. They shouldn't.
Right.
But by the time you graduate high school, we should be prepared and raised to be a wife. Just like young men should be prepared and raised to be a husband and be working towards that goal, whether it be with furthering your education, doing some self-care, self-love, taking care of yourself, getting yourself where you need to be, so that for young ladies, by the time you graduate in high school, if you look in other communities, by their junior and senior year of high school, they're usually getting married. By the time they graduated, I'm sorry, junior, senior year of college, they're usually getting married. By the time they graduated college, they got maybe a year or so with that new husband before they start having children at 24, 25 years old, because they know that by 30, that's pretty much the cutoff time for having children.
But I also feel like
they've had the opportunity to build with a husband
Mhm.
from 22, 23 all the way through and raise
But
children.
I also feel like those cultures focus on marriage and family. They actually teach that in the household.
Yes.
And that's the difference. Like it's not really taught in a household in Black communities anymore. And you're right,
True.
somewhere between the late 60s and now, it's
So-
like
So think about this. I hate to cut you off, but that's what I was meaning. We have to go back to teaching our young boys and young girls to be prepared for marriage earlier, because we've been telling them, "Oh, when you go to college, get your education, get you a good job, and turn up for 10 years and have act a fool, and then look for a husband." And that's wrong. I dated. Me and my wife dated for a long time, and then we got married. And one of the things that I've said to her for years is, I should have married you sooner, because I put that part of my life kind of on hold so that I could go tour and be a musician and do that thing, when marrying sooner would have changed my mentality as a man, because I always knew I wanted to be a husband and a father. My parents had 11 kids. I wanted to have 10, and I always knew I wanted to be that guy. But it wasn't until I actually proposed to my wife and we got married that the real responsibility hit me. I wasn't prepared to be a husband in my mind. So I'm having to correct that with my children and teach them, look, through your college years, that's when you kind of have fun. You go party a little bit on the weekends, and over the summer you take your trips and whatnot. But towards the end of your college career, that's when you should be settling down to get married and start having families, if you're going to have families.
So let me ask you this question real quick.
You can wait on that.
So check this out. So going back to that, I guess, and cool. I would like to hear from you, Hinky, as far as, and we've heard this before as far as what the title says. Do you feel that women have it hard in this society, in this world? Is it really hard being a woman? When you hear some of the women's, their cries, their statements, their opinions, the facts, and the things that they go through, compared to men, is it really hard being a woman, in your opinion?
That's a multi-layered question, because you have to look at it. Is it hard being a man? Is it hard being a woman? Is it hard being a Black man? Is it harder being a Black woman? Because even though we're all men and women in the United States, our experience and our relationship with this society is completely different. So I would say that it is hard to be a Black woman. Okay. It is, because the society is designed to target the Black woman, and it has been since its inception, to make it hard on her, because she produces the nation. Let's keep it real. She produces the nation of Black people. And unfortunately, some of that, Black men have never had the power to subjugate his woman. We've never had the power to make her work in the kitchen or deny her the opportunity of education. Matter of fact, we've always worked with our women, always, since before this experience here in the United States, and going back to ancient times. We've always worked in cooperation with our women. But here in the United States, the people who control this thing, they know that it makes the society more money if there's two rents being paid and two different tax brackets being paid than it is one. So it makes more money for them to have us separated than it does for us to be under one roof. It makes them more money for us to have two mortgages and two house notes. So yeah, it's hard. It's been hard on Black women. Now, I will say this, and it may not be popular, but over the past 20 to 30 years, it's been a lot easier And since 1968, with Section 8 welfare and all those types of things, it's been a lot easier for Black women than it has been for Black men. Because a Black man that don't have his education and don't have a job or building a business, he can't go get help from this government.
I can agree to that.
A Black man that look, a Black woman, nothing against our sisters. This is the design. We just got to peep game, and we have to use our knowledge and in our ability to have this conversation to rebuild. A Black woman cannot have an education, cannot have a skill set, but can just produce children and live almost a comfortable life. Black men can't do that.
And
now,
is it easier, or is that the perception that it's easier? Because the perception is if you're on welfare and you have enough children, you're doing well, without the actual understanding that, yes, she has to raise those said children. It's not easier. It's just different.
Not herself.
It's the perception of that it's easy.
Well, let me add this. The same, maybe the person who fathered that child, he can go to prison if he can go to jail if he doesn't have a job, if he's not able to make child support payments or whatnot. The same can't be said for the women.
I've seen women that don't pay child support and have gone to jail as well.
Let's look at the statistics on that, though.
Yeah, because
because men statistically can leave. I think that's the part that you're failing to realize. Now, I know a couple of guys that have their children. My brother-in-law is one of them. He from day one, he's had his baby, and the mother just went, "I'm gone," and he's just had his baby. So it happens, but it's rare. It's more rare. The mother is more likely to stay with that child, whereas the father is more likely to leave. Now, we can go back to say, okay, well, if you look at the 90s, they had the 3-strike rule under Bill Clinton, and that really impacted. You can look at the crack epidemic in the 80s and in the early 90s, and that did it. And you can go back and pinpoint, okay, this is what happened, this is what happened, this is what happened, this is what happened. But at the end of the day, a lot of the men still left. I'm a millennial. So I was under the branch of people that had either your parent was a boomer or a Gen X. And we were the ones that really got impacted by a lot of the dads not being in the home. I didn't have my dad in my house. I know a lot of people that didn't have their dad in their house. I grew up in Baltimore. So this is kind of in DC, Baltimore, the crack epidemic was bad. It's bad. So I've seen it, but still, men still had that choice to make where a lot of them could leave. They had that option, and it was still an option to make, because I think a lot of the times what we do with women is we tend to say, well, it's easy because look, she can stay home. That's what women are supposed to do. They're supposed to stay home. I heard say they should be raised to be wives. No, women should be girls should be raised to be women. And if she finds somebody who fits her and builds well on her team, then you connect together. I should never have been raised to just be a wife, because then if you look at it, it's kind of what you just said. Well, it's easy for you to be on welfare. Well, if you're raising women to just sit home and be a wife, then that's exactly what she was built to do. You have.
I don't think that's what he was saying at all.
Because the vast majority of us cannot sit at home. We are working. We are all working. 75 to 80% of us all work, men and women. So there's not a huge population of our sisters that just get the option and the luxury of sitting at home.
Oh, I didn't say that. I'm not saying that women sit home. Trust me, most of the people that I know are college educated or higher. We're not sitting home. That's not what I'm saying. But if you are saying that there are women out there that if you're saying it's easier to be a woman, and that's the conversation of if it's easier, it's only easier because it's the perception that it's easier.
So let me add this.
The question was, is it really hard being a woman?
Is it hard being a woman?
My answer was, it is very hard to to be a black woman, but I also said it's been very hard to be a black man. It's been a little bit easier for black women over the past few
But
decades.
isn't that
For
sort of
many,
like
in
the
many
all
different.
lives, Black Lives Matter? Like when people say,
No,
well, is it hard being a woman? No, all lives matter. And that's just kind of what that
no,
sounds like to
no,
me.
not it. But that's not the intention at all. That's not the intention. You know, when you were talking about, you know, people, women being able to sit at home and oh, let me go back. Let me go back to this. When you were talking about raising young girls to be a wife, I also said that young men should be raised to be husbands. This is the only way that you build a community. You have to build a community with young men and women that are prepared to be husbands and wives and be able to work that dynamic. If you don't do that, you will have what we have right now. We have to young girls have not been taught, just like young boys have not been. I'm one of the few people that I grew up with that had a mother and father in the household. And I come from a huge family, you know, and my parents were able to teach me some things that a lot of young men, when I went to college and the brothers I played football with, they had no idea of the types of things that I would talk about from my parents, the way that they raised us, because they weren't exposed to that. So I didn't single out women saying you got to teach younger. No. I said we as a community of people have lost that teaching from the late 60s that all of our grew up, because I'm Gen X. I'm a little bit older than you. And I remember the husbands and wife, the Mr. and Mrs. in everybody's house, in most people's households. That's gone now. So we have to trend towards that. Now, as far as the young ladies that may have children, their own welfare and whatnot, sure, that's not the best life. It's not ideal, and it's not what they want. I'm pretty sure, I hope that they were not raised to be welfare recipients, because welfare hadn't been around, 60 years or something like that. I mean, so it's not been our norm as a people, but there's nothing like that. Now, there's nothing like that to help young black men, nothing. Now, I know that most of our young girls have the children in a situation where the parents are not together, but that's the way society designed it. That is the way society designed it. I know people personally, young men that during the divorce they've had control of the children, and women had to pay child support, but that is very, very rare. There's not even you can't even quantify and compare it to
It's
how
actually
many young
becoming
brothers.
more common now. Unfortunately, that actually is something that is becoming more common. But again, I still don't think that, because I get what you're saying, but I think that we're also missing a piece. So one of the reasons why we had a lot of people who got married, because the divorces and the separations happened under your era, which would be Gen X. That's when, if you start look at the numbers, it wasn't us. A lot of it was that women started to enter the workforce. So right around the 70s and 80s, women started entering the workforce because they could.
Yeah.
That kind of changed the dynamic of what women had their own money. They were able to own their own property. They were able to do more. They had more opportunities to themselves. They could go to, more women were getting into college. So it kind of changed the dynamic. A lot of people just miss that. Like a lot of our parents and grandparents, they were in marriages, but they weren't necessarily happy. Like it was a situation that was designed in order to, because back in the day, we didn't get married for love. We got married for in-laws. You wanted to get married into a wealthy family or a well-off family so that you could build wealth. That was right around the 1930s or so. And then, of course, with De Beers and Diamonds, they started saying, okay, well, let's push this. Let's love for love.
That's right. You're right.
That's kind of what happened. And I think we missed that. So when you say men and women, let's teach them to be husbands and wives, I don't see anything wrong, because I'm married. I would never tell you to not be married. But what I'm saying is I think we need to stop focusing on, okay, this is what the women should do. This is what men should do. And we should build people, because we are building people that do not work together. And the reason why they don't work together is because they don't know themselves. We do too much. Y'all need to be together. You need to get in a relationship. No. That's what's wrong with the Black community now. We need to work on ourselves.
In my experience,
then come together as if it works, but not just pushing people together just to say, let's push them together. And I think that's one of the reasons why, because like me talking like this, it sounds like, she doesn't want people to be together. She's the, feminist pro be by yourself. And that's not necessarily it. But I think that it's harder for a woman to be independent and people not look at it with the side eye. And so that's why when I look at, is it hard being a woman? Yes, because you still have those same stereotypes that are thrown on you. Any room, especially a white male walks in, it is assumed that he is competent. As a Black woman, I have to prove that I am competent before it is assumed that I am competent as a woman and as a Black woman. So I just personally think that it's harder for women, just in general, if I'm answering the question, because I feel like we've gone down a rabbit hole that we've gone kind of away from the topic. So if I'm being honest, I think that it is hard being a woman. It doesn't negate the fact that it's not hard being a Black man. It is, but even when you look at the movement of Black Lives Matter, you mostly look at, although we have a few women, you mostly are protecting Black males. Who has always been the backbone of protecting Black males? It has always been Black women, and the person that was left the most unprotected, even Malcolm X said this, was the Black woman. We have always looked out for Black men.
But who
put them in the forefront.
Was the Black woman left unprotected by? Because you're talking about Black men as though we had power. You're talking about Black men. Hold on. You're talking about Black men as though we controlled what went on in society. There's been an all-out assault.
Black women are the most unprotected with everybody. But when you started saying like the Black men are also, it's hard being a Black man also. So I'm kind of addressing that piece.
No, I don't disagree that the Black woman has been the most unprotected. I don't disagree with that at all. I totally agree with that. Malcolm was exactly right. But what we have to look at is the Black woman over the past 20, 25 years, there's no group of people per capita that have been educated more. They're statistically, Black women have the largest numbers of people with college degrees. Black women have the largest number of people of new businesses and small businesses. Black women have made the largest jumps upwardly when it comes to wages and earners. That's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. What I'm saying is Black men has been almost the exact opposite. Smaller numbers with graduating from high school or higher education. Smaller numbers with small businesses, starting small businesses.
But
larger numbers.
Of that,
hold on.
Part of that,
larger numbers with mass incarceration. There is a design afoot, because the design is, if I can overeducate and give more power to Black women, then maybe the Black men and Black women won't be able to get along. That's called social engineering.
That's social engineering. I was getting ready to bring that up.
Social engineering. That's for a reason, so that
I hear excuses. I'm sorry, because Black women, if we've been unprotected, we stood in the lines with y'all. So as Jim Crow was happening, Jim Crow was also happening to us. When slavery was happening to us. In the Middle Passage, when we was in Ghana and get ready to go to the Middle Passage, who was being raped on the floor? That was us. Like, I don't think that you realize that Black women have always been there. If Black men can't keep up with Black women, yes, I am one of those women. I have 3 degrees. Yes, I do. And my husband did not. He went to college, but he doesn't have a degree. That's not it. The fact of the matter is if you want to do it, you will do it. Black women, we didn't have anybody protecting us. We didn't have no choice but to do it. I hear excuses, and that bothers me so much. Being a child, coming from where I came from, and knowing that it can be done, I hear excuses. Yes, there are some things that are going to be 10 times harder, but if we're talking about Black men and Black women, we were standing in the same spot. Plus, we are double minority.
Black women weren't the only ones getting raped. For real. Black women weren't the only ones getting raped and beat down. You know what I'm saying?
I know that, but at the same time, you're saying that, well, the reason why is this, but I was like, Black women went through the same thing, but yet we seem to come out of the concrete as a rose.
I think you're jumping on what I said. What I said was, this is the design of the society. I didn't place the blame on sisters. I said, this is the design of the society to put this kind of animosity between
you blamed
the two.
it on Black women, but what I'm saying is, it's still, to me, I'm hearing a lot of excuses of why we cannot overcome.
Cynthia, go ahead.
I'm giving you fact of history. I'm not making excuses, because there's many successful Black men.
I don't think it's I completely agree that there is social engineering that occurs. I don't think Black women go out to outperform and overachieve over Black men. It's in order for us to actually survive, because the fact of the matter is, especially if you want to marry a Black man, your likelihood is low. So it's not like there's going to be somebody to swoop in and take care of you and put you in a home and things of that nature. So we absolutely, if we want to, if we want to have those things and not be living in our mama's house our entire lives, we absolutely have to go out and do it, because we don't have the partnership. And a lot of times, men will take the easier road. Like, in order for somebody to be with that college educated, career driven woman, you will have to step your game up. And like Lisa's saying, not come with the excuses. You're gonna have to step your game up. And I think that's where a lot of the mentality now of young men, not just young Black men, but young men, if they don't have the mentality to put their best foot forward and step their game up in order to be able to be in that provider's position, in order to be in that partnership, they fall back, because there's a woman somewhere that's gonna let them live in their house. That's gonna, even if it's their own mama or their grandmama, they don't have to get out there and get a place. They don't have to get out there and maintain stable employment, because somebody somewhere is going to take care of them. Whereas typically with a Black woman, if you don't get it how you live, you're gonna be stuck.
But those aren't men. Those are not men. That's part of the problem.
That's why I'm saying a male and a man.
Yes.
And I get that. When you was making that argument earlier, Royce, I completely understood it. I say it all the time. That's a male, not a man.
Yeah.
But that's the problem. It's too many people who are we are no longer raising men. It's that these boys are just growing up and being chronologically in a mature age bracket, still doing little boy stuff, and they're enabled to do that.
By whom?
Like I said, there's a woman somewhere, whether it be their girlfriend, baby mama, their mama, or their grandma.
Know the problem. You said there's a woman somewhere. So this goes back to what I said earlier. We need to start teaching and training our young boys to be fathers and husbands, and teaching and training our young girls to be wives and mothers.
And that makes me cringe so much. Women don't need to have children. You don't need to have children if you don't want children. Nobody should be raised to be mothers and fathers if they don't want to be. I really think that the focus, and this is why I think it's hard being a woman, because it's constantly this push to be, this fit into this role. And if you don't fit into the role.
So what I hear you saying, Lisa, though, this is what I'm hearing both sides of it. I can agree to when you're saying not to be forced or pushed to be a wife or anything like that. Is it that you're saying you should be pushed or raised to be the best person you can be, the best woman you can be, and then in return, if that so fits into being somebody's wife, then you've already handled that foundation of being a real woman. Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much. once you figure you out, because that's the problem with relationships. Because again, we're still kind of pushing this off on society and not really bringing this inward. Because like when you start to look at, okay, why is it that I don't think that I am worthy? I can't fix that in you. I don't care how great of a wife material I am. If you don't think you are worthy, ain't shit I can do about it.
Gotcha.
Counseling,
Self-esteem.
therapy. Because if you don't think you're worthy, then there's either a problem somewhere or somebody didn't give you something. That's what therapy's for. And honestly, all of us at some point in time need it and should have it. We live in this, this crazy situation here. But as a young lady, you may decide you don't want to have children or you don't want to be a wife. You're going to be effective in somebody's life and fulfill those parts of those roles anyway. Whether you be an auntie, a sister, a teacher, Miss So-and-so down the street, a next door neighbor, those roles are going to have to be fulfilled. And it does not benefit the community if we can't fulfill those roles, whether you have children or not. I know many women, older and young, that don't have children and some that don't want them, but they still fulfill parts of those roles. They may not have had that child naturally.
But I guess that's a question I have for you. What does it mean to be in those roles? What does it mean to, when you say to be or be built to be like a wife or
a husband?
What does that mean?
A mother? Okay, I'll give you a prime example. There's children that live in my neighborhood, and from time to time they come and play basketball on our goal, and we have conversations, and they talk to me about this and that and ask questions. I'm fulfilling kind of a father's role because some of these kids don't have fathers. But because I was taught by my father and my uncles and some of the people in Tullahoma who were not blood related, but they loved and cared for me, I can relay some of those same messages. I can be there for those children. I can be there for the young ladies and the young men and help fulfill. That's what a community is.
Doesn't that mean that it's not a mother or a wife or father or husband? That means you're a good person. You're a good human. I'm a
male. I'm a man. So to a young 12, 13-year-old, she's going to look up to me kind of like a father, uncle, that kind of thing.
And I think what she's saying too, like,
but you can just be a friend. It's just you're a good human.
I'm not going to be friend with 12-year-old. I'm 50. I'm not going to be friend with 12-year-old.
And I'm seeing both of y'all. I'm seeing both of what you're saying. But and I have to be honest. I feel what Lisa's saying because I know, I've been in and out of relationships. You know what I'm saying? I've cheated. I've done everything imaginable except kill somebody. You know what I'm saying? In these relationships, all because I wasn't one with myself. I didn't love myself. I was insecure of who I was. I wasn't sure of anything. I didn't fix that part of me first in order for me to be that type of man that she wanted me to be. Or no, that the type of man that she deserved. You know what I'm saying? I had to step aside out of this last relationship I was in a couple of years ago and be like, okay, why do I keep going through these same patterns with every woman that I deal with? Is because I wasn't fixing myself. I wasn't being the person I knew I could be, the way my mom and my dad raised me to be. And then once I started to build upon that as far as an individual, I start seeing more things manifest as far as, people being in my life, whether it's a girlfriend or just friends around me. You know what I'm saying? I agree with what Lee says, is being the best person you can be. And then in return, if marriage is what you seek, because marriage isn't really for everybody. Like you say, there's more women than there are men here on this earth. Everybody's just not going to be married unless it's all poly and some stuff going on and the numbers equal out. But if you're the best person you could possibly be, then if you do decide to take it to that next level, I think that will work out, So I agree with Lisa on that. And I agree with what you're saying too, Hinky. You know what I'm saying? But I really feel like it starts with building yourself as a man and building yourself as a woman.
Yeah.
So when you make that next step,
what they're saying,
it'll be easy transition.
They're saying the same thing, but the labeling is different. Lisa's saying be a good person, while Hinky is saying be a good husband, be a good wife. The ultimate bottom line is be the best that you can possibly be. The only difference I'm hearing in the statements that Lisa and Hinky are making are the labeling.
Agreed.
Maybe.
You can be a shitty mama, so that's why I say just be a
Yeah.
great
Oh,
person.
honey, because I know a couple of them too.
Hey, y'all, and let me say this.
Like,
Let me say this, y'all. Hinky, I'm gonna have to take you off because I want to close with these two women here because I kind of want them to have the you know what I'm saying, the last little word on this thing that I got up right here. And we actually, went a nice little minute, man. So we definitely got to have a more conversation on here. But Hinky, it's always great, you know what I'm saying, have you on the show, you know what I'm saying, and giving us, you know what I'm saying, give us some facts, give us opinions, give us another outtake so we can kind of understand.
Give me some broccoli.
We're gonna meet. We're gonna go out to eat. I'm telling you, Cynthia, we're gonna go out to eat.
Look at you already, man.
Be healthy. I'm gonna take you to a vegan restaurant. You're gonna love it.
Well, Hinky,
I
man,
like vegan food. My godmother's daughter in Detroit has a very popular vegan restaurant that I throw down at. Every time I go. Don't play with me. Hey, Amy.
Hey, what's up, Amy?
Hey, before I go, Cynthia, always a pleasure. Your commentary, and we gonna badger back and forth. So be prepared. Lise, this is the second time I've been on with you, and I love your fire. And I love your stance and everything, and I hope we get to do this again sometime.
Oh, absolutely. Same here.
All right,
all right. No doubt. Okay, ladies. This is the time where it gets real R&B-ish up in here. Nah, I'm just playing. So listen, I got one question to ask both of you. You know what I'm saying, before we kind of wrap this up, and I got like this little passage to read, and I want to see if you guys agree with it or not. So in that case, I'm gonna read this passage first, ask you how you feel about it, and then I'll ask you the main question. All right, so this passage says, it said, one, this is speaking to, is it really hard being a woman? And a passage said here, it said, one, girls quite often are spoiled by their parents more than boys. Less strict rules are applied on their behavior. Rude and arrogant attitude is tolerated more for girls than boys. They experience less pressure to achieve and to excel, and they are taught to seek support from others. Current education systems mostly employ women as teachers, and the content sometimes is preferential towards needs and wishes of women and girls. As a result, girls achieve better grades in school. However, it must be noted that these childhood advantages are not free, and they cost women later in their lives with unfavorable consequences. One, due to childhood privileges, women are more likely to develop a sense of entitlement in relationship with men and in working a relationship. It is harder for them as adults to accept equal relationship. As the result, they are more likely to cause confrontations and experience psychological discomfort in their relationship. Sense of entitlement and feeling of their superiority often make women more dependent on the support of others around her and less likely to respond to situations where there is no such support or where there is competition. Despite better grades in school for girls, boys very often catch up with them in university and surpass them when it comes to actual application of knowledge and practice. In later education, boys are more focused on what they find interesting, while girls are often focused on what is easier for them, and more often, I can't believe I just left that. Oh, go back. While girls are more often focused on what is easier for them and more often regret their career and educational choices. All right, so that was a passage that I was reading, and I hope all of that didn't go by too fast. But from what was read and what was said, do y'all find any agreements in that or disagreements?
That whole statement was some bullshit.
Yeah, I was like, what angry white man wrote that? I was
exactly what Caleb sat down and had a tantrum and wrote that.
So you guys don't feel that women get certain advantages?
Hell no! What's my advantage? I dare you to find one.
I dare you to find one? Where do you think that comes from? Let me ask that. Where do y'all think that comes from?
I think that it's two parts to that, if I'm being totally honest.
Okay.
So when it said that in school or growing up that girls are coddled and they don't have to grow up as fast, that is only true for white women.
Okay.
Because Black girls actually, and you can look at, it's a ton of psychological tests that have been done, and in psychology, Black women are actually forced to grow up a lot quicker. And if you have siblings and things of that nature, you usually have to take care of those siblings. A lot of the times in certain situations, Black girls become like the surrogate mother figure. So they have to grow up a lot quicker. So they don't really get a chance to be this kid and child. And that's why you always see people say, oh, that girl is that so grown. And they allow their children to grow past their years because they're expected to do that. So I don't think that that's, so I don't agree with that statement 100%. I also think that when it comes to careers, the reason why men have excelled more is because of misogyny. For years and years and years and years, women couldn't even work in certain industries. They were pushed out. They were not allowed in. There's no way you can say that women don't excel in those positions when they haven't been hired in any. How many women are the CEO of top Fortune 500 companies? I can't name but one.
Gotcha.
So it's not that they can't do it, it's that they won't allow them to do it. So it's kind of, you can't say that women won't excel because they look for what's easy when they've always been fighting to do the same things or similar things as men and not being given that opportunity. That's silly.
Okay. Oh, Cynthia, do you have anything to add to that?
What she said.
Look, y'all, I want y'all to know that, you know, I definitely don't want you guys to think that with that title, I was being, if I'm using that word, condescending, I guess, to be honest. Like, just based with all these conversations that we've had over the years on talk shows and stuff like that, and who runs the world, girls run the world, or this is a man's world, you know, it just had me question, just like, well, I wasn't asking, is it really hard? Is just like saying, okay, you guys don't go through ish, but really bring up all the questions that people have on why women feel that it is harder being a woman. But after hearing what all you ladies have said, I've got one question. What is it, just starting off small, what is it do you feel, if it is, that could make it less hard for a woman? What is it that a man could do to make it less harder for you in this world?
Pass equal rights, the Equal Rights Act. That's one. We shouldn't be getting paid 80 cents on the dollar. Like y'all getting a dollar, we doing the same. That's one. For one, we should also be able to control what happens to our bodies. Not white men, women should be able to control what happens to our bodies. And just being able to be given the opportunity. Do you know how deep that is? We've been saying that in the Black community for years. Just give us the fucking opportunity. That is something that is not afforded to women, in particular, women of color. Just give us the do you know, because Hinky mentioned something that Black women are starting, or women are starting more businesses. That is true. But when you look at the statistics of how many of those businesses succeed, it's very, very, very poor. And the reason why, they do not have access to capital. You know why? Because as soon as they walk in a room of male investors, they tell them no. Just give us the fucking opportunity and let us go. That's all I'm saying. Let us sit in seats of political power. How about let a woman be president instead of being the vice president? So many things men could do. Just give us the opportunity, and we'll show you the way.
Anytime you got somebody like Donald Trump who can go bankrupt 3, 4, 5 times, and people still give him money to start bogus ass businesses, white men will give other white men businesses knowing their business plan is some shit, but will not financially back a solid business plan from a Black woman to save their life.
Okay, so check this out. I got some stats in where I was letting it download from my phone. All right, so these are just stats. I want to argue with these stats here. It It said women-owned businesses. Women-owned businesses statistics. 17 women-owned businesses stats that you need to know. U.S. women-owned businesses generate $1.8 trillion a year. 40% of U.S. businesses are women-owned. Women started a little over 1,800 new businesses every day last year. 64% of new women-owned businesses were started by women of color last year. These were 2020 stats.
Now, pull up the stats for men, and that number will be blown out of the fucking water. Plus, you don't know of that $1 trillion, how many of those businesses actually succeed, because what they don't do when they aggregate numbers to make things look bigger, they put them together. So you don't know if that's 2 companies that made that money. Maybe it's 3, maybe it's 4. You don't know because they put it together.
Do they include Oprah in that?
Right.
Do they include Oprah in? Come on now.
Did they include Oprah in?
Oprah's in a league of her own. Like, I mean,
is she though?
We're talking about
because that's a black woman.
That's one black woman. That's it. That's like saying God, man. That's like, wait a minute.
No, it's not.
That's like paper, rock, scissors, and which one covers up everything? Pretty much 2 out of 3 of them. No, I'm saying new black women is what we're talking about. New black women, new black businesses.
The other thing behind that is, yes, I will absolutely go out here and start my business when I can't gain employment in my field any other way. Sometimes it's out of necessity, not necessarily out of a true desire to have a business. It's out of necessity.
Okay. I'm gonna keep reading these real quick. I like how you guys were rebutting this. Let's see. It said women-founded companies in the first round Capital's portfolio outperformed companies founded by men by 63%. This was 2020. Women have a 69.5%.
Where is this information coming from?
Women have a 69.5% success rate of crowdfunding for their businesses, while men have a 61.4% rate. Now, I mean, we've seen that with the naked eye. That's what I was saying a little bit earlier. Now, this is just something with the stats or what these stats are coming through, and I will be happy to play. Can we place those links or whatever on that thing?
That would be lovely.
Just so we can look at it.
Because sometimes it depends on where the facts come from. I'm not necessarily disputing everything you say, because like I say, I'm not difficult on purpose. I was just, God made me this way.
It's okay.
What I'm trying to say is that a lot of that stuff is blown out of proportion, and what you don't see is a side by side of men and women, because although women are new businesses or creating businesses, what you don't see is the numbers of what men have been creating in those businesses for years. When you start looking at who's really making the money, and because if you're in an angel, if you're getting capital, right, an investment, that means that there's some man that's making money off of that woman. It doesn't show you that, does it? How much equity in that company are those people getting? Because that's how capital works. So if you're getting investments, they are getting equity in your company stake. Otherwise, they won't give you fucking equity, fucking capital. They won't. So how much money did he make? Give me those stats.
Okay. I'm hearing you. So
the other question becomes this. Okay. All these businesses were started by women in 2020. So we talking about a year. and one of the worst years possible.
Right.
We're not talking about longevity. We're just talking about starting businesses. Do you know how many of I can't call them my friends. You know how many people I know that started selling hair and lashes? And that's their business?
I know so many. Oh my God.
Because it's a business. There's a business license or there's something on file that allows them to do that. You have to consider where these businesses are started. And like Lee said, you got to look at the whole picture. I know a lot of folk who started cleaning businesses and a lot of folk who started, detailing businesses and things of that nature. To me, it makes it I am all for people starting their business. Do you, baby? But there are still some areas that we still not allowed into to
Now,
start business.
do you say that now? Do women say that when you say, okay, I know Lisa was talking about loans and stuff like that and getting these particular opportunities, but these opportunities that you're talking about, are we speaking of white corporate America?
We're just
Because
speaking
I
in
mean,
general.
okay. I mean, when you say that, I mean, it's kind of like a no-brainer in a sense. If we're looking at corporate America is white, it's owned by white men. That's true, right? So if you're talking about less opportunities in those particular areas, what about entrepreneurship?
What do
Moving
you
up the
mean by
ladder
entrepreneur?
and
Because
entrepreneurship as far as moving up in that ladder in that sense, instead of and this goes for black men too, because I know we as black men sometimes complain why we're not at where we're at with our jobs and stuff like this. Well, we're working up a corporate ladder that is owned by white America. So I guess the question is, I have to ask, well, what is the reason? You said, what's the reason why these businesses do not last, as far as, you know, black women in businesses, black men in businesses?
because people
I
jump on
don't
the
think
bandwagon. People
true.
jump on the train. Because right now, the reason why in 2020, another reason why black businesses did so well is because of George Floyd. So people wanted to give back to black businesses. Will this last? You know what I mean?
The same thing, the same thing is happening with HBCUs right now. Same exact thing happening with HBCUs right now. Because we have a vice president that graduated from HBCU. We've got Stacey Abrams that went to HBCU. All these black men and women who went to HBCUs are in the right after the election and right on up to the inauguration. All these black people who graduated from these HBCUs were in this spotlight, right? And there was all this talk about HBCUs and support behind HBCUs, and what's your boy Peyton Manning donated all this money to HBCUs and this and that. All of a sudden, all this money is coming into HBCUs because there's a conversation behind it. Number one, where was it 10 years ago? And number two, how long is it gonna last? Like, it's just like most other fads and waves. Supporting black businesses is a fad right now. Having more black actors and directors and all this is a fad right now.
Got you. So I guess the question is, and it's really up to us at the end of the day, to support each other consistently within our businesses. That's where I'm kind of finding a little bit of the answer, because we can look towards corporate all day and ask all these questions. Why? Like, all these jobs that I have, I'm like, man, I got to ask for this. I got to ask for that. I got to work. And somebody's always jumping up in front of me, whether you're a man or a woman, whether black man or a black woman, either way. But what I mean by entrepreneurship is starting something on our own, like bringing Greenwood back, bringing Tulsa, Oklahoma back in all of our cities and all of our communities, and find some type of way where it is not a fad to support a black business just because it's hot, just because somebody died, or just because, you know, anything else that America does is big. You know how we do in America. It's like we like to go for that shock factor of anything, whether a death or a life or a catastrophe, problem, reaction, solution. We need to find a way to consistently help support each other in our respective businesses, in our schools, and in the way that we raise our children in a nuclear family. And I think that would help solve a lot of these questions that we have and why we're not moving up the ladder, because we're not making one of our own and we're not holding each other down in that process. How do y'all feel about that?
I agree with some of it. I agree with some of what you said, but not all of what you said. But
okay.
Because I
add
think
something to it. Like, I know you don't agree with everything I say, but add something to what you don't agree.
So one of the things is, I think that we also, like, if we're going to start a business, right? If you're, it has to not just be, I'm starting a business because I'm black and I think a black person should do this. We really need to make sure that we're doing it the right way. Like, we understand, okay, this is the industry I'm in. This is the pricing. This is the products that I own. This is, like, really making sure that you're putting quality in it, because if you put quality in it, people will spend their money with you. I think that's another issue that just businesses in general tend to have. Just to me. instead
One of
of
the
just
things. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lisa.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
One of the things that Hinky pinpointed was about health and wealth and all that good stuff. Black folks are a target when it comes to bad health. There's not a single solitary Black-owned healthcare company that I can think of. There's not a single solitary Black-owned health insurance company that I can think of. Life insurance company that I can think of. That alone, like if we had an insurance company that focused on like truly making a difference in the Black community in our healthcare, and we put our support behind it and make sure that it was successful. There's a lot more Black-owned banks that are popping up.
Mm-hmm.
Greenwood for one.
Right. We should absolutely put our support behind that.
But I think it's not just putting our support behind it. I think we should put our support behind the people that are doing it right. And really, because I think a lot of the times our community gets doomed with it's a Black person doing it. I'm putting my money behind it, but it's not the right person doing it. And so then it doesn't work. So we really need to be able to find the right people to put our support behind, which we haven't really been able to do that. And like the comment that's below is like, if we don't create a sense of community and start with individualism, we are doomed. In some ways, I hear what you're saying, but I think you have to fix yourself, like I said, individually first, because you are no good to nobody. Like if you're on a plane and say you got to put your mask on before you put it on your children, that's the same way in life. You got to fix you before you can fix your community. But I think that we do need to have this sense of community in order to make things better, but we need to be able to pinpoint the right people. We cannot just go out, because that's another thing we do. We support the wrong people and it just doesn't work. We've got to really start holding each other accountable. Accountability is one of the biggest things besides supporting each other. Accountability is one of the biggest issues that we have in the Black community. We do not want to hold each other accountable. That word is toxic. It's dangerous to us. We do not want to hear it. We do not want to see it. But we have to be able to do that if we are going to start to move forward. But what I will say is that, in listening to what you said, Royce, and listening to what Hinky said, I do think that we maybe should stop with this person has a harder life than this person has a harder life, because I think individually we all have different paths. There are going to be some things that I have in my life that make it a little bit maybe easier for me than for you and vice versa. So yeah, maybe on that front, I'll say it's more individual with the perspective of how you view your life is the difficulty in it.
Lise Winnie, everybody. Lise Winnie from Baltimore. I love it when you come in. I love it when, you know what I'm saying, you spit your truth, you know what I'm saying, spit your facts, spit your opinions and how you feel about things. It's definitely appreciated. And to Cynthia, the same way, you know what I'm saying? Even before you speak, you speak with your face before you say anything. Like, oh, we already know what she's about to come with. But, out of everything that you guys say, it's highly respectable. That's why, I love having you guys on, because you give different points of views and you're 10 toes down with it. And you are, open to, suggestions and just maybe, even other ideas. And that's just something that I really appreciate. As far as, this being, Women's Month and all that, I will say this to the women out there, just the same thing that I said with Black History Month. I think it should be something that, we should do every year, especially amongst women. I think women, because I've seen outside of you guys, I've seen a lot of hate towards each other with women, talking about, oh, she thinks she's this, she thinks she's that, or, disrespecting families and relationships and taking mans and disrespectful, all that stuff like that. Or she thinks she's, at the end of the day, we talked about that word accountability. What does it take to be a real woman compared to just a female? There's certain things you have to hold yourself accountable with. You do have to correct your wrongs, and make them right. I feel like you should be a respectable person, you manifest that within yourself, I feel like those things will gravitate towards you, whether you want a man or a woman in your life. You know, it really doesn't matter to me. But I wish that women would uplift each other more, in song and dance. You feel me? And I know, like Lisa was saying, it's an individual thing, but I also look at it as a unity thing too, man, as a village, because like Hinky said, we do need y'all. You know, we need each other. You know, I feel personally, and just out of how my mom raised me, you know, to respect women and to be chivalric. I may have not been that a few times in my life, but I do. Don't look at me like my mama. I may have not done that, you know, a few times in my life, but you know, as I got older, I realized how important it is, you know, to have, if you do decide to get married, you do decide to be with somebody, you know, how important it is to have a real woman, you know what I'm saying, by your side, supporting you, you know, equally, knowing physically there are things that women can't do that a man can, and vice versa. And I think both of those things should be respected. And I do want to say happy Women's Month to the women, but I want y'all to celebrate that every day and be the best woman that you can be. And there's anything that you two want to add, that you want to say to the women out there during this particular time, I'm going to give y'all time to speak.
Cynthia, you want to go first?
I'll go, girl. First of all, Lise, it's so good to hear your voice. I love being on here with you. You know, whew, I love your perspective. I love being a woman. I don't think I'd ever choose to. If I had the choice, I would not choose to be a man. I love being a woman. I love what that means. I love the power that we do hold, and I wish that more women embraced that power. I agree with Royce. We need to celebrate women and women's history every single day and continue to make history. Also, make those negatives in your life your history. Move forward, be positive, be the absolute best you that you can be, and live in your truth. I think the moment we stop letting others dictate who and what we should be is when we truly embrace our power and start living the lives that we were destined to live. And the people who are supposed to be with you and on your team, they will come once you start being your authentic you.
And this Lise Winnie.
Yeah, I agree. I love being a woman. I'm glad I was born into the body that I was born into. You know, despite some of the issues that we may have as women, I wouldn't have it any other way. And you said something about taking other people, men. You can't. Just one thing I will tell women: you cannot, or men and women in relationship, you can't take nobody that doesn't want to be tooketh. Okay, so I'm just saying you can't. You just
they was for the streets,
right? Like it's not possible. But I appreciate you having me on your platform. I always keep you over and always shake it up because that's just. I try not to be that way. I swear. I try not to be.
That's why we have you. That's the reason why we put you on here, to shake stuff up. What do you mean?
But I appreciate you for, you know, letting me speak. You know, shout out to all the women out there doing the damn thing. You know, whether you are starting a business, even if nobody is supporting you, listen, somebody will see it. Just keep doing it. Keep grinding. You will make it through. I promise you, sis. Just keep doing you.
All day. Well, with that being said, I'm gonna bid you two good night, and I'm gonna close out, and we'll definitely connect soon. You know, I know, Lisa, we got some things under the works that we want to talk to you about, but we'll take that off the record, man, and we will speak later on this week. And
right, because I was gonna say that to you, Royce. Now, women will call you back, so if they say they will.
Hey, look, I just look, but hold on. See, we're gonna go off the regular this. No, I hear you, man. But yeah, we will be in contact. You got to understand, man. It's just me and Josh, man. Behind the boards, we do a lot of stuff, but let's leave that off the record. I'll get you. I got you. You know what's up.
Okay.
But I'm gonna bid you two good night, man. I'm gonna close out because I'm tired and I'm hungry. We love both of you guys, and we definitely appreciate the support. Real talk.
Good night. See you.
All right. Good night, y'all. Yes. What's up, everybody? Yes, it is a late little night. I haven't been this long in a minute, but it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? The conversation gets a little deep. We go a little here and there, but we try to bring it back. But it's been a good day. It's March the 1st. I just want to give a shout out to all the ladies out there. Here, let me front face y'all real quick. Okay. So shout out to all the ladies out there, man. All the women out there. You dig what I'm saying? I hope you guys continue to uplift each other with all of the trials and tribulations that you have faced, especially our Black women, just to keep it real. But I hope you guys continue to uplift each other. I hope you guys try not to validate yourself based on men's standards, so to speak. I think if you truly love yourself and manifest the person that you want to be, that person is going to gravitate towards you. I myself, I know men are going to be men. I can't agree that we have set certain types of standards, but on an individual basis, I guess it all depends on what that man truly likes, But I will say this, at the end of the day, I love you. And I know there's men out there that love you women too, you respectable women. Just be positive towards each other. Raise your kids, raise your young girls to be respectable young ladies so they can grow up and be the best that they can be. And whatever path they decide to choose, they'll already be that great person in that position where they're at. All right. So I love you guys. I'm going to bed. Cynthia, Lise, Walter, appreciate you guys coming on. BJ Anderson, Cheryl, all you guys, thank y'all for watching and tuning in. Please continue to share, and y'all get ready for Nino's show tomorrow. He's going to be breaking myths. I think he's breaking the black myths. And then we got Thursday, Dr. Anatomy, Herschel Williams. You already know what it is, man. This is the week of Royce's Rant. And y'all stay tuned, all right? So without further ado, I'm your boy, Royce the Voice, Orange Click, Orange Leader. Shout out to K-Team. Speak your thoughts or lose your mind. And we out.